Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in to my channel to watch this video. As formerly I told you, we're going to have two videos about referencing and citation. This is the second video. The first one is about Mendeley. I hope you learned how to cite with Mendeley. And then this is the long part of it, because I told you Mendeley is a shortcut to citing and referencing. It makes work easier, but this one is also another type of referencing and citing, which is good, and it's mostly used by students also doing their courseworks. Yes. So it is APA style still, and I'll be taking you through citing and referencing using APA style. Here we go. Okay, what's APA? So this slide is for definition of APA. APA is one of the many referencing styles used in academic writing. Academic writing can be research, coursework, writing a book, anything like that, as long as it's academic or any other thing. APA stands for American Psychological Association. It outlines the styles in publication of the manual of APA with which are over 100 styles. Yes, so that means APA has over 100 styles of citing and referencing. You may see one style somewhere and find another style somewhere, but still APA. So just know there are over 100 styles, and we shall navigate through most of them today. As the rest, I'll leave to you to make some research, and then also for clarification of information, I'll leave for you a reference book to go and read more about it. Meanwhile, why should we reference? Our referencing is good because it helps you it helps the reader to know where you got the information from, and then they go and read more to get more explanation or to understand it because they didn't understand what you wrote very well. So let's go through the reasons why we should reference and see. One, referencing allows one to trace the steps and locate information you have used for assignment, and then discover more views or ideas discussed by the author. You might have suggested a few of the author's ideas, but when someone reads, they would want to know more about the author's ideas. So they will go to your reference, get the book or wherever you got it from, they'll go and read more. So the second one is referencing correctly enables the reader of the assignment to locate the source of information such that they verify the information or read more on the topic. So when you've written your work, the reader will want to verify is what you wrote exactly what is in the information source. So they'll go the reference to get where you got it from to verify what you wrote or to find more about the topic. Because you might have written about it and you didn't exploit the whole idea, so they want to know more about it also. Third, it is important morally and legally to acknowledge someone else's ideas or words you have used. If one uses someone else's words or work and fail to acknowledge them, you may be accused of plagiarism and infringing copyright. In the former videos, I've told you about plagiarism, so it comes in here. When you cite and reference someone's work or quote it, you're saving yourself from plagiarism. Otherwise, if you're caught with plagiarism, I tell you, you'll be charged with a criminal offense case. Yes. Then, for us to know more about reference, I'll give you still the referencing, sorry, and citing. I'll give you a reference book where you can get it from and other references. When you reference clearly and correctly, it demonstrates you have undertaken research on the assignment topic and located relevant information. That's another use of referencing and citing. When someone says references and cites in your work, sorry, citations in your work, that person will know that you've taken your time to go and read these things, search for this information, and put it in your work. Yes, but otherwise, if you just write your work, no citations, no references, someone can take it like it's not even your work. Maybe you just got it from somewhere, someone's scratch or scrap, and then put it there. Yes, so please endeavor to reference and cite your work. So how to reference? We have in-text citation. In-text citation is when you're writing the body of your work and you're putting cites or quoting someone's words by putting their name there and the year of publication, and then that's citing, that's in-text citing, like you're citing it within the text. So in-text citations are added within the body of the research work. I've just said that in the body is where you put the citations. The citations are not like references. A reference is long. One reference will be long, the name of the book, the name of the author, the subheading which under which you read to get what you quoted. But the citation is going to just be the last name of the author and the year. The citation is short compared to the reference. So you don't carry the reference and put it in the middle of the text. That's not citing. That's putting a reference in a wrong place. So when citing in text within an assignment, use the author's or editor's last name followed by the year of publication. When I say last name, it depends on where you're coming from. There are people who have last names according to their clans or what. In our place, it's very, very, very more understandable. A surname is different from a first name. But when you go to the land of the whites, you will find that they have two English names, but one is a last name and another one is a first name, and it's hard to differentiate. Yes, but the last name is always the one that is, sometimes it's a family name. Yes, that's what the last name is, and we can also call it the surname. That's it. So when you're citing in text, use the author's last name or the surname followed by the year of publication. So more rules about citation. I'll be showing them to you here, as also I show you the examples from my reference book. So we have so many rules of citation that I couldn't really exploit them and put them here, but I'll show you examples from my reference book. There are so many other rules in text citations, such as there are rules concerning when there is more than one author and they have the same information. Like maybe you find Okello and Crispus, they're two different authors, but they have exactly the same information. So there is that type of citation. So you will see how to cite that kind of work, where you're citing two authors having the same information in your work. Yes, there's also when citing many authors, more than three, we shall see how to cite to put a citation containing authors who are more than three, or many, or six, or seven, or eight. Then when the authors are the same and have the same date of publication, we shall see how to cite that. These are all rules that you should read about. Also, when the author is cited more than once in the same paragraph, you may write your paragraph in the first sentence, that author said something. Maybe it's Okello 2021 concerning what you're talking about in the first line. In the third line, that same author said something else also, but it's also concerning what you're talking about in the third line. So that is citing him twice in the same paragraph. We shall see the rules and how to do that. So citing from a secondary source is also something you should put into your mind. When you're citing, make sure you know the source of information you're getting from. By secondary source, I mean someone made their research and they cited someone, right? Then you also make your research from someone's research. So you're going to cite the researcher and also what the researcher researched from. So if someone like Penina researched and said, I cited Okello 2021, and then you're searching from Penina's work, so you say as cited by Penina, Okello 2021, like that. We shall see how to do that more examples. So my reference book is a guide to the APA 6th edition referencing style. I want us to go there and see the different examples and how to apply these rules very well. Yeah, but before we go to my reference book, let me show you some examples of citations, a few simple ones that I collected here before we go to the reference book. Examples of citation styles. We have example 1 here. Water is a necessary part of every person's diet and all the nutrients of a body needs to function. It requires more water each day than any other nutrient. Whitney and Rolfs 2011. This is citing at the end of your sentence. Let's see citing at the beginning. Whitney and Rolfs 2001. Whitney and Rolfs 2001 state that the body requires many nutrients, blah 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 blah. This is citing at the beginning. Realize the difference. At the end, everything will be in the brackets, but the names will be separated from there by a comma. At the beginning, the names will not be in the brackets, and check the and they use. This is at the beginning. At the end, you can do this. You can put the sign of and, but at the beginning, don't do this. Even in the middle of the sentence, don't put and. Don't put the sign, put the real and. So at the beginning, the yeah is in the brackets. Take note of that. Then example 3, water is essential element, is an essential element for everyone's deity. And Whitney and Rolfes 2001 emphasize. See here, not this and, also take note of the brackets. Yes, blah 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 blah. More examples of different types of citations. Go to this reference book, which I told you it's APA 6th edition referencing styles. I want us to open there right now and see the different examples. Okay, this is my book. This is a book title, A Guide to APA 6th edition referencing style. Okay, here we go. The first rule of it: when citing and you have 3, 4, or 5 authors. If a work has 3 or 4, 5 authors, cite all authors the first time, and from then include only the last name of the first author followed by the word et al. This is what I wanted to emphasize. You have more than 2, 3, especially more than 2. You're going to cite them once the first time. Then the rest of the work, you're only going to put the name of the first author, and then the rest add et al. And then you put there. Now let's see how we do this. And then from then include the last name of the first author. Take note of this, followed by the words et al. Et al means and many others. It's a Latin word. It's a Latin word for and others. Yes, examples. Research can be defined as a systematic method of creating new knowledge or a way to verify existing knowledge. These are the authors: Watson, McKenna, Cowman, and then Kennedy, 2008, the first time. But if your next work still is depending on these people's research, you're only going to cite this first name of the first author, followed by the word et al. Take note of the punctuations. Et al has a full stop before the comma. Don't hesitate to put a full stop because you know there is a comma in front. No, this is how et al is written. So, deciding on the research methods demands the researcher consider carefully the problem or area of investigation being researched towards on it. Remember, that means that all the following statements, you're getting them from the research of these people, from these people's work. So you have to get the first name of the first author, follow it by et al, a full stop, and then comma 2008. Don't forget the year. Also, don't forget this punctuation. Yes, that's how we cite for more than 2 authors. We have citing 6 or 7 authors. If a work has 6 or more authors, cite only the last name of the first author, followed by et al. Now this is beginning from 6. The first one was from 3 to 5. Then now 6 and above, cite only the first name of the author and follow it by et al, even if it's the first time of citation. The former part, if it is the first time of citation, you're going to write all the names of the authors. That's from 3, 4, 5 if they're 5. But now if they're 6 and above, you're going to only cite the first name of the author, follow it by et al, and then the year. But include all the names of the authors in the reference list. But within the work, only put the name of the first author and follow it by et al, then the year. So let's see here. When the source has up 7 authors, include the names, all names in the reference lists. But in the citation, in the in-text citation, you're only going to put the first name, sorry, the last name of the first author, follow it by et al, then the year. Yes, so this is how you're going to put it in your reference list. But in the work, only one person's last name, followed by et al. Then we have a rule when there are 8 authors and more. The other ones were 6 up to 7. So this is 8 and more. You're only going to cite the last name of the first author, follow it by et al. But when you come to the reference list, you're only going to write the names of the first 6 authors only. Don't put all the 8. The former one, for 6 to 7, you put all the names of the authors. But this one, for 8 and more, you only put the first 6 authors, and then you include the year and all the other titles. You don't put 8. Put 6 only, the first 6 in the reference list. This is how you're going to put it in the list. Remember, there were 8 authors. in the text, you're going to put the last name of the first author, put there, and then in the reference list, you're going to put only the first six. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then after that, that's how your reference is going to be. It's only going to have 6 names. Don't put 8. Yes. So we have this rule: when there is similar information referred to by more than one author, there may be occasion to refer to more than one author, one source in relation to similar information. In this case, list the sources in alphabetical order within the brackets. And then here we have an example. Resilience is seen as the ability to overcome adversity, combat stress, and bounce back from hardship. Dawson, 2006, Overton, 2005. So this is how you're going to cite for two people who have the same information. Last name of the first author, there he published that. Use this symbol here. I would call it a semicolon, this one. And then Overton, 2005. This is how you cite for two different authors who have the same information. And in the reference list, let's see what's about the reference list. More than similar information in this case. Yeah, in this case, you're going to, in the reference list, you're going to put them in alphabetical order also. Yes, here you put them in alphabetical order. The first name should be having the least letter in the alphabetical letters, D and then O. In the reference list, then you're going to separate them. This is Dawson, and then this is Overton. Yes. Same author, same date. If work has the same author and same date, differentiate them by assigning lowercase letters A, B, C, etc. They are listed in the reference list alphabetically by title, excluding A or the. Don't use A or the in when you're listing the titles of their work. So refer to APA manual. This is a reference. You can read more about this reference. APA manual 2010, page 178 to 182. So examples here, we have eyes are susceptible to melanoma even though it is rare. Cancer Society of New Zealand 2013A. According to Cancer Society of New Zealand 2013B. So you see, the same author and the same date. You're going to separate them by using letters A and B. Then on the different things you're writing about. Yes. So in the reference, then this is how you're going to include them, but don't include A here or the at the beginning. The same thing, you don't include R or the here when it's the same author and same date of publication. Here we have one work by one author when the author is cited more than once in the paragraph here. The rules of this case are quite complex, mostly because there is no rule for citation in brackets, that's parenthetical, and other rules or citations that are part of the narrative. Examples, we have, let me scroll. Examples, if a citation is part of the narrative, it looks like, according to Jones, or Jones 2013 states that. Yes, here is when work by one author or when an author is cited more than once. If citation is parenthetical, it looks like Jones, like this. Take note of this and this. Yes. We have citations in brackets. We have this citing in brackets. We have a lot of information here. Really refer to this book. Citing from a secondary source, we have here. Where possible, use original material. However, the information you wish to use cited by another person. Let's see an example. You're going to let me this name. I can shade it. Let's say maybe John. John, as cited in this, outlined the four main concepts. Yes, so here you're going to say the person, this is the person with the original content, but this person was cited by this person in his or her research. Pollitt and Becky in 2008, they cited this one. So when you go to Pollitt and Becky's work, you're going to find that they cited this one. So you're going to write here John, as cited by Pollitt and Becky, outlined the main concept. That's citing from a secondary source. We'll have a lot of content here that I really refer you to this book to read and understand. Yes, because it's really going to help you to improve your academic writing skills. Please read about it so much. You're going to see referencing, you're going to see differences between referencing, how to create a bibliography. You're going to see all this stuff, all this information here. I can't really exhaust it for you, but I just want to thank you for listening to this video. Please take note of my reference book. I want you to go and read more about it, A Guide to APA 6th edition referencing stuff. Thank you so much. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Let's meet again in the next set of videos.